It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Now, I went to a flea market a couple of years ago and I picked up 2 boxes of very special beer. One being Whitbread's Celebration Ale, which today we're going to be reviewing, just so I can get this nice and clear for you. This beer is from 1992. It's about 12% ABV. It's a barley wine. For you youngsters out there, Whitbread, you would probably know Whitbread now as Costa Coffee and Premier Inn. The next beer, now this is going to be a separate video. I'm just kind of like semi-advertising this, so you get to see this video in the future when it pops up. It's equally as special. This is an 8% ABV Christopher Columbus Limited, the Millennium Celebration Ale, bottle conditioned real ale, specially commissioned by Christopher Columbus Limited. Now, it was made a few years before 1999, but this was brewed for the millennium. This was brewed that you opened this in the year 2000. So they made it in the 1990s with a view for it to age, and you opened it on the year 2000. There's all sorts of paperwork in here. As I say, I picked them up in flea markets. I think that beer cost me £12. This one cost me about £10, but this is the beer we're going to be opening today. Whitbread, major company. London's probably one of Britain's biggest brewer back in the day. If you're old enough, you will definitely remember Whitbread. It's got a nice, look at that, nice carrying handle. There are some of these bottles on Untapped. Oh, right, hang on a minute. Here we go, look at this. Eleven point 11.5% ABV. Look at this, eh? Now, I've never got the box. I've never got the bottle out of the box. I've just been a bit too scared by it. Look at this. Scared as in Whitbread are not around anymore. It's wrapped up like an Easter egg. Whitbread are not around anymore. Oh my goodness me! Look at this. Look at the wording, the lettering. Oh wow! Bottle number 17,443. It's a 1 pint bottle. I'm going to keep the paper. I'm going to keep everything about. I'm going to wrap it back up as an empty bottle probably. Put it back in the box, because it wasn't that Whitbread went bankrupt. They just, basically what they did, they had a lot of pubs. Now, first of all, let me let you pause the video and have a read if you want to. Unfiltered, unpasteurised, barley, fuggles and golden tops, 1742. The story of Whitbread's on the bottle. They probably knew at this stage that they were changing as a company. It's probably the reason why they brewed this beer. I'm trying to be as careful as I can with this paper. Oh, some of it's gonna rip. It's all glued to the bottom of the bottle. Some of it's gonna rip. Right, where are we? Yeah, it's all glued together. I'm gonna have to be very careful with this actually. Right. That should be enough. Don't know, I think it's just a glass bottle. It's just a black bottle. I'm just going to leave it, I think. I'm just going to leave it in that black bottle like that. You can see that it's a wax top on it. It might blooming explode. Yeah, so that's not going to be any blooming good, is it? Right. Okay, pause the video. I need to go and find a cork screw. Right, we're back. It's funny, the cork is split along the top. I just hope there's enough that this will now pull out. Thank goodness for that. The cork was perishing. Can you see? Oof, that cork was perishing. There's a little bit of wax gone into the bottle. It is from 1992. Yeah, the cork is rotten. That is insane. I wondered if the beer's okay. It is 11.5% ABV. I've never seen a rotten cork before. Wow. Right, glass. I'm going to use something that I've not used in a long time. If you're a very early follower of the channel, then you will recognize this glass. There we go. A little bit of cork in there, a little bit of wax. Never mind, never mind. It's got a bit of wax. Oh, whatever, innit? It is what it is. Right. That cork might. It is from 1992. This beer is 8 plus 24. 32 years old, at least 32 years old. It's dark brown in the colour. There's a little bit of a ruby hue to the beer. More of that wax. The wax is like following me wherever my mouth wants to go. Let's get the aroma. The beer hasn't spoiled. It's aged like crazy. You can tell a really old beer. Plum, licorice, prune, dark fruits. Whoa, yeah. Oh, I'm sure it'll go through me, won't it? This wax. Let's get in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, it's drinkable. It's very old. You have to kind of swing past that very, very old tasting beer. It's quite thin for a barley wine. You're getting some of the alcohol coming through, that 11.5% ABV. Licorice, toasty, slight biscuitiness coming through. You're definitely getting that kind of feel of the barley wine. You're feeling the alcohol now. It's funny, you can feel the warming sensation as the beer hits the pit of the stomach. Slides down the throat with warmth, hits the pit of the stomach. It's a really interesting beer, it really is. I feel like I'm drinking history. Will I drink it all? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to fish all that wax out, won't I? I have spoken to older beer bloggers, people who are kind of like more senior to me, and Whitbread were they were a bit like your Molson Coors of the time. So if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, this is a bit like drinking, say, if Molson Coors brought out a barley wine. This would be very much kind of what you would be expecting here. You have to take into consideration the age of the beer, the fact that it's 30 odd years old. It's very much like the Thomas Hardy's ale. I'm glad I reviewed it when I did. The cork was definitely rotting. I'm glad I made the decision because I've had it for 2 years. You can see there's a split down the cork. It was definitely on its way to rotting. I'm glad I reviewed it when I did. I ummed and ahed about it for a long time. Do I do it? Do I not do it? In the end, what happened, some of you might have seen the kitchen unit video. The kitchen's starting to fall apart. I'm running out of room. And my wife turned around to me and said, "Oh, will you please get rid of these, or not get rid of them? Can you please put these somewhere else?" And it doesn't matter now, it's an empty bottle. I can chuck it under the bed, can't I? There's a little bit of chocolate. There's a little bit of roasty flavour. The hops are gone. The hops are gone. The hops would have been gone a long time ago. But it was drinkable. Was it pleasant? Well, you're drinking old beer. You're drinking really old beer. Ideally, I probably would have liked to have drunk this bottle 6 months old. I think it would have been perfect. Drinking it 32 years in the future, yes, it's still drinkable. Yes, it's held its qualities. It's held its it's not spoiled, which is something to be said. Rating, it's very difficult to give something like this a rating. I think you've got to give it a 9 out of 10, just because it's 32 years old and it's still, you could drink all that and be fine. But I hope you liked the video. I'll wrap this back up now. I'll put it all, leave the wax on. You can see that it's a cork and cage. I'll put the cork back in the bottle. Look at that. It's going all the way down, isn't it? Look at that, yeah. I'll put the cage back on. Wrap it back up. Whatever this was, I'll put this back on as well because it's part of it. It was over the paper, wasn't it? That's part of it. There you go. A little bit of a rip in the paper. Hard lines, I suppose, but whack that back in there, and I'll put the timber on the front in the future. In a moment, put it back up there and let it live on the shelf up there now. There's no chance of it exploding in this conservatory now in the summer. That was my concern, that's why I kept it in the kitchen. Yeah, what did I say, 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked the video. Next one is the Millennium Celebration Ale. Now this history of this beer is that it's somehow related to Badger Brewery. Badger Brewing Company bought the company behind this brewing company. We'll have a look at all that. There's a lot of paperwork in this one, so we'll have a look at that next. So look out for that video. Thanks for watching. Boom. Cheers.